Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget, we're TV home tomorrow for both games. We hit the air at 1 o'clock for North Dakota State. You can see it live here on WDAY Extra. We're on between games as well, so don't change the channel. We're there, and then the men will tip off at 4 with the Fighting Hawks and the Bison. Looking forward to tomorrow. Our next guest I know is eagerly looking forward to tomorrow as the UND women travel south. They've had the week off after playing last Saturday, so they're sitting on NDSU for the last 6 days. It's great to have Mallory Bernhard back with us, UND women's basketball head coach. Our poll question today is about doubleheaders. Now, I'm curious, let's go player, coach. Did you like him as a player? Do you like him as a coach?
As a player, sure. Yeah, it packs the stands like wonderful. As a coach, I have no problem with them when we're the first game. You get the full routine, the full warm-up,
Yep.
all of that. The second game, obviously, you have a little bit different rhythm, but let's be honest, it's probably good for you too, so that you get used to that rhythm when you get down to Sioux Falls. So no, I'm a fan of them. I think that they're awesome from a fan perspective and packing the building, and that's good for our team too.
All right, I got to start. I have not talked to you. So the start of your season was the most bizarre thing possible. Your game at Youngstown didn't happen because the power went out. Give us what happened that day.
Yeah, what a unique way to start a year. Everything was absolutely normal. We were in the middle of warm-ups.
Okay.
I think we had, you know what, we were actually in the locker room, giving our first of 2 little pre-games and preps and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the power goes out in the locker room, and honestly, just like thought someone like leaned against a switch or something. And just, no one was claiming the issue. And so, we eventually just kind of went out to the floor and realized obviously that the power was out there. And, yeah, didn't realize obviously how extreme, I guess, maybe it was going to be. It felt, we were sitting there like, okay, hey, just wait about a couple minutes and then we'll get going again. But, obviously learned that it was a much bigger issue. And unfortunately, time just started ticking, and it starts getting to a point where it's probably too late to be making adjustments. And yeah, we have another game sitting right on the back end of it coming back home. So yeah, what a unique way to start a year. We've lost games in the past, but it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, that's just bizarre way to go. Describe this group. We talked in Sioux Falls before, you're a couple weeks into practice about what this team is. Now here you are in the middle part of the year. Has this played out like you thought of the season so far?
I'm not really sure I fully had an idea of what to expect from our team. You see it now, and no one's really young at this point when it comes to, having played 18 games. So we're not really young anymore. But we definitely had a young team then. And, when we're sitting there and we have a freshman as our starting point guard, and basically new players sitting around under our, transfer in as our starting post, all that kind of stuff, you're not really entirely sure what you're going to get. And honestly, we really were just focused pretty heavily on just trying to get a little bit better and see where we can get to by the time we start playing Summit League ball. And I thought in our non-conference portion of the season had some games that we competed really, really hard. You look at a Green Bay game. That's a team that had won how many consecutive titles, is still doing fantastic. And we, had them a little bit on the ropes for a while. And so love to see like the level of just compete that our team had and fight. And obviously there's a lot of things we needed to clean up, and turnovers being one of them, and obviously shooting the ball a little bit better being another. But we've started to see some of that start to turn the corner a little bit. And I think that's how these last maybe 5 games, we've kind of started to feel like maybe things are coming together in a way that we always hoped they would, but getting there.
Mal, turning the offense over, you mentioned to Jossie Schiller, knowing what her ability is. How has that transition gone? The welcome to D1 moments and seeing how she's evolved and become your point guard, that she's out there. She's playing 38, 39 minutes a game.
Yeah, she is. I actually think you asked me in Sioux Falls if she could play at this level, and my answer was, of course she can. And in her welcome to college basketball, I think she showed that. Go all the way back to that Eastern Illinois, our first game. Um, Game's on the line, and the ball's in Jossie Schiller's hands, and she delivers an absolute great pass to Walker Demers for a game-winning bucket. So she's been ready. I think we'd seen that starting this summer that she has just a very level-headed, mature approach in how she handles things. And even from then until now, her growth has been phenomenal. And yeah, we're certainly proud of the job she's done and just the poise that she shows. But yeah, she's a kid that's ready to go for college ball.
We saw Kira Pemberton play last year. How has she elevated her game to another level? What did you ask of her this season to be even more of a leader this year?
Yeah, I mean, she's as athletic as they get. And I think she's always been someone that teams have been very focused on defending, getting downhill. And obviously, that's still a huge part of her game. But what she did was this summer has really expanded her shooting range. And she's become a real threat from the perimeter. And so, a big part of that was, Kira, you definitely, someone that people are going to look at. You're going to need to
Yeah.
add a little bit to the tool bag. And for the team perspective is, don't settle. You got a lot to continue to work on, get better. And I think she demonstrated that by getting in the gym here very, very consistently and obviously adding a pretty big part to her game.
I watched your game, Mal, with USD. You guys played awesome in that game. That was a really, really impressive performance. To have where you're at, are you even, I say surprised? Where are you at? I guess how would you describe you're 3-3 in the league? Is this what you thought you would be? Almost halfway home.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's hard about that is we're 3-3, and there's a couple out there that I feel like
Yeah.
we let get away. And so we're nowhere near satisfied. I mean, we will continually talk in our locker room that it really isn't about results. We are not really focused on what the result is. We're focused on what are we doing to get a little bit better, and win or lose, we can be proud of what we do. And I think that there's games like that Oral Roberts game, we lose in double overtime, but we played some pretty good basketball that night. And so we're not going to leave that locker room with our heads hanging. And so really, yeah, did I think we could be here? Yes, I did. Absolutely. Do I think we could be better? Yes, I do. But I'm not focused on result. Our team's not focused on result. We're just going to try and focus on what our standard is. Because that's what's going to matter in March.
Last thing before I let you go, I'm interested in your viewpoint of watching NDSU. What stands out? This is a team, on the outside with L. Evans is gone, Heaven Hamling's gone. They're certainly got some post presence. What stands out to you about what this Bison team is going to present as a challenge tomorrow?
Yeah, well, they're an incredibly tough team. My goodness, they are physical. I mean, they attack the rim incredibly hard off the bounce. They obviously have some very strong post players and athletic. But honestly, I mean, they're top six, I think, in the nation in multiple categories related to free throws
Yeah.
and getting fouled and getting to the line. And so for us, there's, several things obviously that play into that. We obviously have to defend without fouling. We have to be ready for their physical presence inside. But rebounding is a huge part too. I mean, I think they had 10 boards the other night down in Vermilion. And so, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to put the big girl pants on and get ready to play some tough ball down there. And it's gonna be a tough night. We know that. And they're incredibly balanced. I mean, my gosh, they're leading scorer in conference plays coming off the bench. So I mean, we know that they have a lot of weapons, and we just got to get ready.
Last thing, how the little ones? You get much sleep these days when during the middle of basketball season?
They're not the cause for lack of sleep, I'll tell you that.
It's great to see you. Thanks so much for the time. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Sounds good. See ya.
Mallory Bernhard, UND women's basketball head coach, joining us here on this Friday morning. Again, double dip starts tomorrow, 1 o'clock. The Bison and UND women. NDSU scored over 100 the last both games last season. I know that's a focus for UND, and they got two North Dakota natives on their roster. Walker Demers being back, Grafton, outstanding player. Last time, I believe that Jossie Schiller played inside the Shack meaningful game was the state championship, where she was state MVP that week in 2023 when Red River won the state title. So there'll be plenty of fans for her tomorrow inside the building. We're overdue for a break. We'll take it here. We come back. You'll meet the next big thing in North Dakota high school football. Kindred's Luke Starcevic on what's been a crazy week for him. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns. We're back after this.